I got two stories. I got my coming out story and my transition story.
All right, sir, we got time. Take us through it.
This just in, the body of a transgender woman has been found in the alley on Orange Blossom Trail in Church Street.
Lord God, no, no! People with mental illness, various racial and ethnic groups, and gay and lesbian individuals. Gay individuals' civil rights versus civil rights, and same-gender marriages.
Listen, I know Dustin, he is not gay friendly. He's gonna lose it.
Hello, welcome to Affirming Love Podcast, where we are acknowledging, announcing, confirming, encouraging, and upholding love for LGBTQ plus individuals and allies. I am your host, Laverne Simpson, advocate, leader, and member of the LGBTQ plus community. CEO of Creative and Spiritual Resolutions, where I'm a spirit guide and spirit healer. Writer, director, and producer of Love Simpson Creations, theatrical productions, as well as founder, former leader, and wedding officiant of Affirming Love Ministries, a radically inclusive ministry for LGBTQ plus individuals and allies. Each week on Affirming Love Podcast, we will be breaking down real conversations about beliefs, relationships, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development, and growth. Welcome to Affirming Love Podcast. Welcome to Affirming Love Podcast, where I am your host, Laverne Simpson, advocate, leader, and member of the LGBTQ plus community. Today, we are acknowledging a 39-year-old FTM man balancing technology, business, and humanity. As a cloud-based phone administrator for a leading insurance company, he brings calm and clarity to complexity. An introverted extrovert with a background in business administration, he values authenticity, meaningful connection, and personal growth. Thoughtful and resilient, he believes the calmest voices often carry the most strength. Today, we are acknowledging Mr. Nyk Lewis. Welcome, Nyk.
Thank you. Thank you.
How
for
you
having me.
doing? It's been a while since we talked. Thank you so much for accepting our invite today. Announce yourself, son. Tell us some things about you. Walk us through what your experience is. Tell us what your story is. All that good stuff.
Well, I'm a 39-year-old trans man living in America.
Easiest way to say that, sir.
Easiest way to say that, right? And I'm black. So
Okay.
that says everything in one.
That's
But
everything.
it's challenging, it faces its challenges, but you power through. I would say that this journey is definitely not for the weak or faint at heart, because you definitely face your challenges in transitioning and being black in America. So transitioning it alone, but being black and transitioning is whole nother
Avenue, huh?
Yeah.
I understand. So with your transitioning, what does your identity mean to you?
So for me, it's just being more comfortable in myself, right? Because ideally and realistically, I've always felt that I was in the wrong body. I pretty much lived majority of my adulthood as a man. I was just born a girl, and I didn't have any of the changes at first. So being able to see the changes in me and notice those changes and be able to be more confident in who I am, because now I look like how I felt like on the inside.
Okay.
It's been amazing.
That is awesome. So tell us, what was it like when you came out? Tell us your coming out experience. I mean, because you came out before you transitioned. So
yeah, I got two stories. I got my coming out story and my transition story.
All right, sir, we got time. Take us through it.
So my little brother probably would tell this story more hilarious than I could ever. But when I came out originally as a lesbian, I went away to college And I came home for Thanksgiving dinner. And it was the first dinner that my little brother ever cooked, fully cooked. He cooked Thanksgiving dinner. And me, my mom, my sister, my brother, we sitting down, we're eating. And my mom just kept pressuring that, you ain't got a boyfriend yet? You ain't met no nice young man? And I don't understand why, and you're
What?
beautiful. And I'm just looking, and I was trying to hold it in because it was Thanksgiving, right?
Something to be thankful for.
Right. I'm just like, okay, this you can I want grandchildren and I need this. And I just was like, Ma, I'm gay. I like girls.
That's how you said it, just like that.
That's exactly how I said it.
Um,
I said, Mom, I'm a lesbian. That's what I
okay.
said. I
Okay.
said, Mom, I'm a lesbian. I like girls. I have a girlfriend.
And what was her response?
Honestly, in the beginning, my mother wasn't as accepting. She
Okay.
didn't understand. She felt like she did something wrong at first,
Mhm.
right? So me and my mother's relationship during those few years was getting comfortable. My mother always said I was the child that pressed all her limits.
Okay. You don't say.
I was the one that tested all her limits. So, but I can say that with my mother being, prayerful and talking to God, and she came to me and she said, you know what, you're not out here on drugs. I ain't had to bail you out of jail. You
Mhm.
go to work. You ain't sick. I mean, if that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. Redeveloped our relationship even then because we've always had the lane of being honest with each other, but coming out is something different. It's like, okay, yeah, but I don't want to tell you this because I don't know, I didn't heard other people's stories and I don't want that to be
Mhm.
mine. So I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Mhm.
But after a while, it was just like I like girls, and she was just fine after a while. So and we grew and developed, and she still has those. Hey, that's TMI for me, but I understand because I used to do back in my day, and I'd be like, all right, now
All
let's.
right. I don't need to hear all that either.
But yeah, no, we definitely have, and I think because we've been on this journey together,
Mhm.
our relationship is definitely that's my best friend. My mom is my best friend.
That's freaking awesome. And I know your mama. So, when you're talking about all of this, I can see her face, right? I can see her facial
I'm
reaction.
sure.
So
I'm
I
sure.
can
And she told me to
imagine.
make sure I send her this after we done. So
You let her know that I want to interview her as a parent too. Tell her,
I
come
got
talk to me.
I
Yeah.
got you. I got
That's pretty
you.
cool with your brother and sister. It was nothing for them, it was more of your mom.
Yeah. Well, my sister was upset with me because she felt like I held this from her for so long and
Mhm.
we shared a room for 17 years of our lives. So
Wow.
she did feel away. And then I explained to her why I didn't tell her. It wasn't that I didn't want to tell my sister because I didn't want her in my business. It was you talk too much, you was gonna tell mommy, and I wasn't ready for her to know.
Okay, okay.
I love her. I love her, but you gonna snitch on me.
Okay.
And my little brother, he was accepting, even though unbeknown to himself, he was in the community as well.
So back in the day, he didn't even realize it. When you were going through initially, he didn't even
No,
he
he
was
knew then.
he
He
was
just
coming
felt like he wasn't there yet.
out. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's understandable. That is understandable. So we got some surprising reactions. We got a little positivity. We got a little negativity. What was it like when you decided to transition? What was that coming out experience
So
like?
and honestly, because me and my mom have better dialogue about stuff, right? Like I'm open minded about a lot of things. I went to her because it was a time for me to make sure that's what I really wanted to do.
Mhm.
And not just because, oh, I seen it and it is how I feel on the inside, but I'm just, gonna go with the flow.
Okay.
Like I took the time out to sit with myself and seek counseling and therapy and
Mhm.
really realize that is what I was fighting with within myself.
Okay.
So when I finally became accepting of that, I went to my mother and said, how would you feel if I transitioned to male? We had a conversation about it, and she said, well, you were born my daughter. I said, right. And she said, and you believe in God, right? And I said, I do. She said, well, if you believe in God, then you feel like he's making a mistake with how you were born.
Oh, wow.
And I said, no, because God also gave us the ability to discern and give us knowledge to grow and develop in life and into who we are supposed to be. And who says this is not the avenue that I'm supposed to walk down?
Come on. Preach.
So she looked at me and she said, wow.
Wow.
And if that's what you want to do, let's do it. And I can proudly say that I had to have top surgery 2 times, and my mother was there for both.
Nice. That is freaking awesome. Now, that's what you call some support, sir. I commend your mama for that. You let her know that I said that I appreciate her being the mother that she is, to go through those different changes with her child, coming from female, going to male, going through 2 top surgeries and being right there by your side. Listen, that is so commendable, and it gives hope to some people out there. Yeah, that's a big, huge step. So what's been some of your biggest challenges now that you've transitioned, or even like going from the beginning to the transition, and now that you have transitioned to male, what's been your biggest challenges?
So I think one of the main ones in the beginning, and that was before I got all this, was the pronouns, right?
Okay.
Now, a lot of my friends and close family already referred to me as he, so that transition wasn't necessarily bad for them. But it was like the friends that I hung around every once in a while, or, the people that I've come in contact with. And it's like the constant correction till there was a point where it's like, okay, now I feel like you're being disrespectful because how many times do I have to correct you on what to refer to me as?
Now, was this before the beard and stuff?
Before the beard and stuff.
Okay. All right.
Before the beard and stuff. But I think once my beard came in, like once them peach fuzzes started growing, it was more freeing for me, one, but easier for them to be like, okay, yeah, because like, so for instance, my grandmother has sometimes she will still refer to me as she.
Even with
And
the
then
beard and stuff?
even with the beard, and I just be like, it's okay, she getting old. And I tell her all the time, I say, Granny, I'm gonna just start telling people you got that Alzheimer's.
You keep forgetting.
But it doesn't offend me because like she respects the fact that I'm transitioning. She's older.
Right.
She's been used to something for all of my life up until now. And it takes time. But she finds herself correcting herself even now. And that's why I kind of say I got extreme love for my grandma. Cause she'd be like, yeah, my grand, and I hear the pause and then she'll finish with son because she's like, okay, yeah, because if I say granddaughter, they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy.
Right. They're like, who you talking about?
I was gonna look around and be like, I don't know who she talking about. I don't know.
That's pretty cool, though. It's even good to know that, even your grandmother is starting to be more accepting of it. She's received it, but she's got to now reteach herself because she saw you as a baby. She saw you as that little girl. So definitely we got to give time for, what I'm saying, that change. That's understandable. And like you say, an older person is kind of like in her ways about things. But it's a blessing to be able to know that not only your mom, but your grandma has accepted that you're transitioning, and she's actually working on herself with it, because it does take a lot. The respect that they have for you, even giving the situation, everybody doesn't go through that same experience. So it's truly a blessing to be able to be in a family that is so accepting and that are actually taking their time to really embrace who you are in that transition. So tell us what helped you to grow and heal during your process of your transition.
Honestly, the love that I got from my family. And I say that because when I say my family, I mean my immediate family and my distant family and my chosen family, because you got to have all of them. But I want to say I originally started transitioning twice. The first time I started, I had to stop because of the situation that I was in and my levels weren't okay. in that time of me stopping and starting again, I had found my fraternity and my fraternity brothers. I
Okay.
had joined the organization, and a lot of my brothers were on T, had been on T for years, and I was able to just talk to them and get knowledge from them, as well as give them the knowledge that I had from previously starting, right? And it helped me become more confident to know that it was like, okay, you not just feeling this way, it's a bunch of other people feeling this way too. So it's building that, it's having that community sense, right, to talk about it, because most people are afraid to talk about it, or they're uncomfortable to talk about it. And you have to have that safe space to where you can communicate it, so that you're able to let go of everything that you holding in. Like we go, I can honestly say I'm probably go through 12,000 emotions a day, right?
Yeah.
Have no idea where any of them comes from,
Wow.
but I'm transitioning. It's going to happen, right? And the fact that I have that safe space in my family and my fraternity to go to and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. Yeah, bro, that's because, make sure you doing this. You gotta, let's talk about it. Let's work it out. Let's figure out a plan so that, we can overcome whatever it is that we're feeling.
Do you feel like you've still had some of those feminine emotions in the midst of your transition, and like you still feel some of
Yeah,
that,
you definitely do. Everybody thinks like you're supposed to be this overly masculine person when you're transitioning, right? And that's toxic. Even in being masculine, you have to be in touch with your femininity as well. Because how can you be in a relationship successfully without? Get emotional sometimes where it be like, all right. And on the inside, I had that little commentary. All right, you being a little B word. Come on now.
get a little bitchy. You're getting a little bitchy around here.
You know what I'm saying? But it's all about growing into it, figuring out how, and the fact that you can recognize those emotions in yourself lets you know that you're coming to a different growth stage and you're understanding yourself.
So with transitioning, does that change everything in your body as a female? So all of those other things stop as well? No,
So
I know that's personal, but
it,
I'll cut it out if you want me
I
to.
wasn't regular when I had them, so they
Okay.
were never bad for me. But
Okay.
it does cut that out.
Okay.
Now your body still does produce estrogen, which is why you're supposed to take your testosterone shot on time when they tell you the amount that they're supposed to tell you. You're supposed to eat right and try not to get drunk all the time.
All the
And
time.
you're supposed
Some
to
of the
live
time, just not
healthy.
all the time.
Hey, listen, you gotta have one or two.
Hey.
This Tito, but no, but it changes like your fat distribution. Like my face did get fuller, I did get thicker, I was skinny, and it's all about identifying the areas. And the great thing about starting T is that your metabolism reboots when you start it. So you will fluctuate in weight for. I think I fluctuated for the first 6 to 8 months of being back on T regularly. I went from big to small to medium to small to smaller to big. Like, so it's all about, if you get to where you want to go, work out to stay there. And that's literally all you have to do.
Work out and stay there.
Work out and stay
Did
there.
you have some internal struggles with transitioning?
So the negative thoughts that I had were that the short time in between me being on testosterone and seeing facial hair to getting top surgery, which I want to say I got my top surgery within the first year after I started back on testosterone for 2 years. But after my first year being on testosterone, I went and got top surgery because I'm like, I'm not finna walk around with a beard and breasts that it wasn't going. I wasn't
It
gonna
wasn't
be.
mixing, right?
That wasn't gonna be it for me. I don't knock anybody else's, but that wasn't gonna be it for me.
Okay. That's understandable. Right? Like, hey, I can't be walking around here looking like a man with some big. I mean, but there's some men out there with some boobs,
It is. And transitioning is transitioning to be who you are. And
Yes.
everybody looks differently, and people be like, oh, you're trans, you're supposed to look this. No, I am me, they are them.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what they choose to do, I support them because they're being more comfortable with it, whatever it is that they want to look like.
Mm-hmm. And you know, that brings up my book, Just Be You, Baby, God and You Against All Odds. GAY, gay against all odds. Just be you. We were created in the image. When we come out our mother's wombs, what they may see on the outside may not be who we're relating to on the inside. You
Right.
know, might not be who we were created to be. Just because society sees us one way doesn't mean, because I strictly believe, according to the word that they raised us up with, right, with us being made in the image, that we are both male and female.
Absolutely.
You know, I believe that some of us connect stronger with our feminine entity, where others of us connect stronger with the male entity. And I believe that we get the outer appearance mixed up. You know, it makes me think about moments where there are people who were born hermaphrodite,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then their parents have to actually choose a sex for them. But then they don't turn out to relate to that sex that was chosen for them. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And so to me, that says that we're all of that is in us. It depends on if we connect to where our parents raising us, or, you know, what's that internal thing that you feel most and best about yourself in. So would you say, starting off early, how old were you when you transitioned?
When I first attempted to try, I was 25.
Okay.
But my levels was off and I had to come off, and I knew I didn't go about it the right way. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So officially, and at 30. At
Mm-hmm.
30 is when I started transition, because I was able to research everything I needed to research
Mm-hmm.
10 times over, 30 times over, to make sure that it wasn't going to be no negative side effects to what I felt like I needed to do for myself.
Okay. And so what would you say today, Nyk, to encourage our viewers?
I would say be yourself. Do what makes you comfortable, because that's all you can do. You're on this earth to live the way that you need to live to be happy.
Just be you,
That's
baby.
be you. Yep.
Guiding you against all odds. I'm so with it. What are some of the things that you do to uphold love for yourself, love for your community, love for others?
So I was always big and advocate with community service and children, working with children. Sometimes I get with a few of the shelters with my brothers and we'll mentor the youth. I'm always trying to do something for the kids. I threw a kiddie disco with my fiance for the children a couple years ago. We're trying to do that again, even bigger and better. For me, it's just really giving back, because I've been in situations where I need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like, and I just want to be there for people. As far as my community, I take in the stragglers, as I call them. They know I call them stragglers because they call me Unc and everything else. Being that voice of reason, because sometimes they don't have that, or they couldn't have that in the life that they were brought up in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being that piece of family for them is always great, because in return I'm getting family as well.
I know you said that you're with the fraternity. Do you feel that the fraternity has been like a really strong help for you being able to be who you are? Is the fraternity all FTM men, or is it?
No, actually, we're just masculinely identified. So we have cisgender male, we have trans male, we have studs, we have a few no labels, because some people choose not to label themselves, right?
Okay.
So we are a mixture of masculine identified individuals. And we pretty much, I would say that it's been so strong, because one of the key things that I appreciated about my fraternity was that they accepted the fact that we were all different, but we were coming together for a general idea.
Nice.
And I low key paraphrased our mission a little bit. So if they ever see this, it's paraphrased. I know my mission.
Okay.
But no, it's that we are all different. We all are from different backgrounds. We all
Mhm.
learn stuff different. But it's the fact that we can come together, and when we come together, the ideas that we bounce off each other, the growth that we see in each other just by
Mhm.
giving our knowledge to each other, right?
Mhm.
Just amazing. It'll be 10 years for me that I've been a part of this organization, right? And
Nice.
it's a brotherhood, and I can't. It is a true brotherhood.
That's awesome. That's a great thing. It's always good to have some good support, have that extra family. We're born with an earthly family, but when we have a family that we can choose to be a part of that accepts us without all of the kinks and all of that, and sometimes our earthly family is not unconditional, but then we get this other family that is unconditional, accepts you for who you are. It's just a great feeling to be able to have that. What would you say to families who are struggling to accept their loved one's identity?
I would ask why. If no hurt, harm, or danger has come to them or you about them, they're not changing who they are. They're just changing how they visualize themselves to what they maybe feel like on the inside.
That's good, sir. That is good. Absolutely. What message would you hope our listeners would take from your story today?
Be about love, because that's all we need right now. Y'all see what's going on in the world. Love thy neighbor, love thyself, just love in
Yeah.
general.
Yes. Because if you can't love yourself, like when Paul said, how the hell you gonna love
To love
somebody
somebody.
else?
Yep, that's what he
And
said.
I
Yep.
always say, if you're not good for you, you ain't good for nobody else. You
And
know
you
what I'm
gotta be
saying?
good for you.
You gotta be good for you.
And you gotta be good for you.
It starts with you. It starts with you. A lot of times people trying to get in relationships and things, and they ain't even right about themselves. You're so more
Absolutely.
into pouring into other people than you are into pouring into yourself. And at the end, you drained and you ain't no good for you or them.
Absolutely.
Definitely agree. So thank you so much, Nakai, for joining us today, Mr. Nick. Where can people follow you at?
You can follow me on Facebook at Nyk Lewis. TikTok, same Nyk Lewis.
I am Nyk Lewis.
IG, just Blaze, long story. But if you search Nyk Lewis, you can find me on there too.
Sounds good, Nick. It has been such a pleasure, son, to interview you. Thank you so much for agreeing to sit with us today. You know all about affirming love, baby. You know what we do. That's what's
Oh yeah,
up.
that's what's up.
That's what's up. So thanks again. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you want to share today?
No, I think we covered. Yeah, we covered a lot.
Covered it pretty good. All right. I know I'm gonna come back to you another time.
I'm here for you, and I'm here.
And it has been such a pleasure to see you, such a pleasure to see you grow. It's been a little minute since we've been around each other, but I feel like I embrace you and love you for who I know you've always been,
Yes.
despite the changes. Like you've always been that to me. You know what I'm saying? You've
Yeah.
always been that to me. And we know that our story goes a long, long way. We
Long
ain't
way.
gonna go back to all of that. Our story goes a long, long way back. I've married you. Yeah. We ain't gonna go on all of that. But I love you, son. Thank you so much for being a part of Affirming Love Podcast. It has been a great pleasure to speak with you. And you will be great. Just continue to be great. Continue to stand on what you believe. Be out there for them young folks that need you, because everybody needs your story. Somebody out there needs to hear what you have to say. And so I commend you for being who you are.
Oh yeah, thank you. It was an honor to be here, and I appreciate what you're doing, getting everybody's story out there. So
For sure, for sure. Peace. Hey, if you know anybody that would love to interview with me, anyone that has a story that they want to tell, this is what Affirming Love Podcast is all about. It's all about upholding us, and it's all about acknowledging us. It's all about lifting us up and showing some love, baby. It's all about love. You know what I'm saying? Thank you again, Nick, and you have a wonderful rest of your day. All right, y'all, that's going to conclude our episode for today. Thank you for joining Affirming Love Podcast. Follow, like, and subscribe to the podcast. Good night, y'all. All right, everyone, that concludes our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tune in with us weekly on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Remember to follow, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you for tuning in to Affirming Love Podcast.